Today we're going to talk about the role of an art director inside of a creative company. Hi guys, Fabio Palvelli here with another video about the business side of design. So what is an art director and how does your firm or organization benefit from having an art director as part of your team? Now, before we start, I have to make a small disclaimer saying that in different organizations and different companies, depending on the size, structure, workflow and pipeline of the company, the art directors and project managers can either be the same person or can have a different position and importance in the hierarchy of the company. However, I will try and do my best to point out the differences so to understand better how the two roles differ from one another. Usually the art director sits right in between the team of creatives and a project manager. The art director is usually in charge of all creative processes, whilst the design manager or the project manager is in charge of ensuring productivity and making sure that things run smoothly. Project managers are usually not involved in the creative process, but they do sit in client meetings to make sure that all the needs of a client are met and that the team is on top of their stuff when working on client projects. In small creative companies, usually the project manager and the art director are often the same person. The art director job is to sit with the client at the very first client meeting together with a project manager or sometimes a sales representative, and collect as much information as possible about the project, but also about the client itself. As a matter of fact, a good AD will try to drive the conversation so that the client will share as much information as possible about themselves, what they like, what they expect from collaborating with our company, and of course a good AD will help the client formulating the problem to solve as clearly as possible so to have a precise goal in mind when it comes to the execution of the work. The AD is then in charge of debriefing the production team and organize the work between the more senior and junior staff. Another important thing that the AD does is interfacing with the client as the design process advances. And so it is usually the job of the art director to go to a client and hold presentations or to email the client with work in progress images, following up with phone calls and communicating. And actually you need to be a good communicator to do this job. And you need to be aware of how normal people, so to say, talk as opposed as to designers, because clients often use a more different vocabulary than designers do, and so understanding what the clients say when giving us feedback, it allows us to give clear instruction to our production team when having to make modifications to a project, for example. It is also the job of the art director to try and manage the client expectations and to say no in case a no is needed. Obviously, it should never be a hard no. It should be rather a no with options, as some of my guests on the channel might have said in the past. The point is that the AD needs to keep the situation with the client under control, especially when something in production goes sideways. The AD needs to have the nerve and the calm to be able to manage the client and let them know if we might have a delay, for example. At the same time, the AD needs to be on top of its own stuff to make sure that everything is going according to schedule and avoid delays, of course. If not, this is when the AD would have to report to the project manager, and together they would have to work on resolving the issue. The art director is in charge of maintaining the production standards of the company where they work, meaning that no artwork should be sent to a client without having been approved by the art director first. This means that to be an art director, you need to have the softer skills and the ability to jump into a project and finishing it up if needed. Also, knowing how to use the tools gives you a much better understanding of what can be achieved by the production team in the time given. Personally, I've worked with an art director that had no clue about 3D or different integrated pipelines, rendering times, and so on and so forth. And the experience, I remember, it was like doing a pillow fight blindfolded. In case there are some issues related to the management of the team or if people are always late, for example, or if one of the employees does not meet the production standards required to be in their position, the AD usually communicates this to the project manager, who then assesses the situation and in case take measure to fix the issue. The idea for this clear differentiation between an art director and a project manager is for the art director to always be stress-free from any decision not related to the creative process. Although I don't think that an art director can be totally stress-free, but that's a topic for another discussion. And so if, for example, the client is not answering emails, the project manager will intervene. If the client is asking for a change in the design that was not supposed to happen, the project manager will usually step in and renegotiate the job. And these are just a few examples. But anyway, now the question to you is, do you have what it takes to become an art director? In my opinion, everyone does. But you need to work hard, you need to work smart, and above all, you need to be patient. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Fabio Palvelli. See you guys next time.
Double as a freeze rate. The grills in my mouth, double as a freeze rate. The grills in my mouth, double as a freeze rate. The grills in my mouth, double as a freeze rate. The grills in my mouth, double.